I have a rack, a baking tray, and a top plate for my Omnia. In this video, I'll show you when and why I use each one. The rack and baking tray rest on the edge inside the Omnia pan. Their open design allows hot air to circulate around your baking molds. The top plate lets you bake on 2 levels, making it perfect for pizzas and many other recipes. Both the rack and the baking tray have 2 slots. I simply lift them out with 2 forks, making it easy to remove them without burning your hands. I use the rack for muffins or whenever I bake several small items that benefit from good air circulation. Here are a few examples. Mini croissants baked on the rack with baking paper. Spanish muffins baked in silicone muffin cups. Energy bars baked in silicone bar molds. I also let them cool on the rack. Homemade granola baked in 3 silicone molds with the rims trimmed to fit the Omnia. The baking tray, soft white bread rolls baked in a trimmed silicone mold. I usually use the baking tray with baking paper so melted cheese doesn't drip into the pan, like these pizza croissants. Or these crispy leek phyllo parcels baked on reusable baking foil. Layered puff pastry cheese bites. No burnt bottoms. I even use it for frozen potato croquettes, although they seem to enjoy the Omnia a little too much.
Brr! Brr! Brr!
Wait, what?
Baking on 2 levels. Here I'm baking 2 pizzas at the same time. Or oven fries for the whole family. How about 8 toasted sandwiches at once? I use baking paper on both levels and place the top plate above the baking tray. The rack helps keep the sandwiches in place so they don't touch the lid. When the top layer is ready, the lower sandwiches only need a little more browning. I simply place them on the top plate to finish. No rack or baking tray. Sometimes I don't use either. For cakes, I use the lower base, the Omnia pan, and the original silicone ring. To prevent burnt bottoms, I always use a heat diffuser underneath. But how do you remove the cake in one piece? It's easy. Bread. For bread dough and cakes, I usually don't use the rack or baking tray because the dough needs plenty of room to rise. The first rise is in a mixing bowl. The second rise is inside the silicone ring in the Omnia, helping the dough keep its shape. I never grease my silicone molds. The funnel lid prevents sesame seeds from spilling into the center opening. I also use a heat diffuser because bread needs about 10 to 15 minutes on high heat before reducing the flame to medium-low. This helps prevent burnt bottoms. For the last 5 minutes, I remove the heat diffuser to create a beautiful golden brown crust. Enjoy your Omnia.